Okay. On every week we'll be working on different projects so that we could have hands-on knowledge on how to approach data analysis um, problems or data science problems. And we'll be looking at different domains, not just health. We'll be looking at sports, finance, entertainment, construction, wherever it is, hospitality, HR analytics, and so on and so forth. So that by the end of whenever it is you feel like you're a pro, you would have hands-on experience and you would have stuff on your portfolio to show that you've done something or something related to wherever you're applying for. So, and also yesterday I spoke about the advantages. Just I think it's just one advantage of those in the mentorship group, and one of them is learning something or having a very good knowledge of something in 20 hours. So it could be 1 week for you, 4 hours per day, depending on how you learn or the time you have to learn. But I always learn something, the basic concept, what I need to know about anything within 20 hours. So once it's 20 hours, I know that okay, I just test myself with the knowledge and I find out that I actually do very well. So it's a cheat. It's a cheat I use all the time and it works for me pretty well. Has been working for as long as I can remember, unless I do some little updates or upgrade. And so before I continue, I'm going to invite my guy, my colleague, and call him um is a Python, so he moves around data like Python. So his name is Joseph. Joseph, please, you can unmute yourself and introduce yourself so everybody can meet you.
Hey, hi everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
I hope I'm audible enough. Hi, good morning. So my name is Joseph Arome. I'm a data scientist. This journey about 8 months ago, maybe a little more than 8 months ago, but officially started about 8 months ago. So Daniel and I happen to be on the same team and we worked on so many projects together. It's been a wonderful experience. So I'm sure you must have said some things about data science and data analysis. It must have given you some background information, things that you need to know. So I'm just going to build on that. Maybe say some of the things that he had said already. It might be a but I'm coming from an angle where it will be so simplified for you to understand, even though you're just coming in for the first time. All right. So I would want to start from explaining what data analytics is and how it's different from data analysis. Because when I started to, I used to have that confusion. Like I just feel I tell somebody I'm learning data analytics, and then sometimes again I tell another person I'm learning data analysis. I used to think these two were the same until I started this journey and got to know what the difference are. So there are two interchangeable terms, and the reason for one often being used instead of the other is because of lack of transparent understanding between the two or the two. So data analysis is basically about dividing data into these digestible components that are easy to understand. And then you also examine how different parts of data, which we normally call data points, how they relate, and also we perform operations on data to explain why the story has ended the way. Oh, is somebody okay?
No, no one is talking. You can go ahead.
All right. So why a story ended the way it did, and then we want to explain basically how and why something happened. That is what data analysis is basically about. Okay. Then data analytics is about the future. So it's application of knowledge and computational reasoning to the component part obtained in an analysis. So in doing this, you are going to be looking for patterns and exploring what you can do with them in the future. So I don't know if this is clear. If there is any ambiguity anyway, you can just call me up. Okay. So
sorry, excuse me, please. Participators.
Logical and computational knowledge, the findings you have discovered during your data analysis process. Okay, so like you're kind of like forecast or predicting what might happen based on what you have found out in your data when you explored it. So and then there are different types of analytics. So there is quantitative analytics and there is also qualitative analytics. So qualitative analytics is about using your intuition and experience you have gathered in a particular domain in conjunction with data analysis. So with your skills in data analysis to solve business problems. So this is an area where, for instance, in the investment banking sector, many of them already have the experience. So when they see maybe a stock experience and now apply their data analysis skills to be able to figure out what maybe a drive for a price of a stock, whether it will fall or it will rise. So, for instance, I used to be a forex trader until I joined data science. Unfortunately, the two fields are also related. I can apply data science in forex trading. So, what happens there is that I can, with the experience I've gathered, I can use my data science skills now to be able to predict the price of, let's say, a currency, the exchange rate of a currency pair. All right. So that is what qualitative is. You use your intuition and experience together with your data science or data analysis skills. So business problem. While quantitative analytics basically is just use of formula and algorithms, the number that you have gathered from your analysis. I don't know if that difference is clear. So I guess somebody. So please mute your mic. Signaling back. Business activities normally are data driven, while others are just subjective or experience based. So sometimes, or rather, something which is very confusing in practice. Analytics has become a term comprising of both analysis and analytics. So data science in itself now, like this is now talking about another aspect of data analytics. So data science is a discipline that is relies on the availability of data. So without data, you are not a data scientist. You can't do anything as a data scientist. Your strength, your work, and everything is based on is dependent on the availability of data. So business analytics, on the other hand, does not really rely on data. You can just use your experience and go around like someone who drives like an Uber driver does not need sometimes to go to nowhere because someone who is data science, they must rely on data to be able to pinpoint. That's where there will be traffic. In order to avoid traffic, in order to avoid maybe instance in Nigeria, we are familiar with police checkpoint. So areas where you know that there are always police there, and every time you come around, they take you, from you, or they shoot you, stuff like that. But you deal data science knowledge to pinpoint this thing and avoid. So that's just too much time. Anybody understanding me at all? Yes. Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, so I mean, like trying to understand data science and then the data analytics aspect, like said something about the data analytics aspect in you Johnson, and then address the data science and this data science. Like, that's what so, data science. Maybe I should say that a little bit slower again, right? So data analytics, right, basically explores the future. So you apply logical and computational reasoning to component parts that you have gathered from your analysis process. Science on using discipline. If you compute in them side by side, right? Data analytics is like the main, right? But in data science is the discipline, like this is who you are. This is what you can do based on the skill sets that you have. And what you are doing in the domain of data analytics is able to tell the future on the data that you have on ground. Okay, so I'm still going to talk about the difference between someone who is a data analyst and someone who is a data scientist. You can already get the clue that a data scientist really is focused about the future. Right? Data analytics is just about the past and the present. So it takes data, explores the data, sees patterns and the result that the analyst has, and then start making applying logical and computational reasoning to that to be able to tell, like, by next week, the next 2-3 weeks, I may happen based on what happened in the past. I don't know if that's clear now. Okay.
Okay, go ahead. I don't think anybody has a question.
Okay. So there is another aspect of data analytics or analytics that is called business intelligence. So this is just about the process of analyzing and reporting historical business data. And after the reports and dashboards have been prepared, it can be used to make informed strategic business decisions by end users such as general manager, right? Precisely, you can see the business intelligence aims to explain past events using business data. So this is just another side of looking at data analysis. Right? So in data science, you can't do without machine learning. Now this is where I'm going to just talk briefly about machine learning, right? So it is the ability to predict outcomes without being explicitly programmed to do so. So you give instruction to your computer using data, and then you allow it to make decisions session, make predictions based on the data that you have fed it with. So it's about creating and implementing algorithms that let machines receive and use this data sets to analyze pattern, give recommendations, and even make predictions. So your computer can become a prophet or a soothsayer to you. Okay. Now, artificial intelligence, just another brief over that. I'm sure Mr. Daniel must have touched a lot on most of this. So, artificial intelligence AI simulates human knowledge and decision making in computers. So humans have managed to reach AI through machine learning and deep learning or aspects of data science. So there's quite a lot I have here on Grabber I won't be able to cover all. So does anybody understand what data is now? Because I've only talked about data analysis, data science, and the rest, but I've not really talked about what data is. But I'm sure you have a little bit of understanding about that. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't think you can go ahead and ask a question to Mr. Joseph. I think that's true. You can just start taking questions now. We'll take 5 questions, then we'll go ahead into the task for the day.
All right. DPP, please go ahead.
Okay. Does any other person have a question? We can wait for Adebimpe to come up on board. Okay, Esther, you can go ahead.
Okay. I just want to find out if this session is recorded or just
Okay.
later on can listen to it again.
Yeah, currently it's being recorded, but let's see how that plays out at the end of the session.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
All right. Then.
All right, so I'm ready now. My mic was not working before, right?
All right.
Hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I always known data science to be something you learn after you have done data analytics. Can you learn data science straight up without having the knowledge of data analytics first?
Okay. What happens is you can't do data science without data analysis because it's all part of the process. Now, you don't sit on data analysis, although the major part of your work is about wrangling data, acquiring data, analyzing this data before you start making modeling your data to make predictions, right? It's fine. In fact, it's highly recommended if you already have a data analysis background. Then from there you can now move on to data science. But it's not necessary that you learn data science, data analysis first before you start learning data science.
Okay. The end goal is data science, so I thought you would learn data analytics first and proceed. Because data science is world is wide, like you said, machine language, artificial intelligence, and all of that. So if you are not getting knowledge on those other things, how would you be able to navigate data science part?
Okay. Now, in experience, right, in real time, for instance, what Daniel and I have experienced, we usually work in teams. So you be working in a team, you don't do the entire process all by yourself. There are also aspects of data engineering that you have not probably got familiar with. The data engineer are the ones that do the dirty works. They acquire the data for you, they clean it for you, or prepare it for you. And then you come in as a data analyst, and then you clean it, you prepare it to be modeled in the machine learning engineer also comes in because there's also the machine learning scientist and the machine learning engineer. They come in and then they working as a solo data scientist, but you have to do the work of an engineer, the work of analyst, the work of a scientist. Are you clear? All right. Well, okay. Is there any other question?
Okay.
Bello.
Okay, Bello, go ahead.
Go ahead with your question.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Bello, and I have this question. Actually, I transitioned actually from the business background, so I want to know more about data analytics and how I can apply it on.
Welcome, brother. I'm also from. I have a business background too. That's great. That's great to have you here.
So my question is, because I've been going through some INCBs on LinkedIn, and I see a lot of things that are kind of overwhelming. Sometimes I will see a position for data analytics, and at the end of the day, I'll be reading so many kind of responsibilities that, wow, when am I going to learn all this? So my basic question now is, if I join a company now and you don't have anything on data analytics on ground, as you are the first person that is going to apply for the job and they expect you to kind of start gathering on, whatever you need to do with your position. How do I take up that position? How do I start? Where do I start from? Thank you.
I'll say what I understand, and Daniel will also hit on that too. Now, you will have to build your team. You must have to build your team because depending on the schedules that you have, it's going to be really overwhelming, and burnout can happen. So you're definitely going to have a team. You suggest to the company that this is the nature of this position, and it's a position that requires so many hands on deck. So you're definitely going to need to build your team. That's it. So, but then prior to that time, you will have your team built up. You're definitely going to be doing maybe, that's what they call full stack data scientist right now. So you are going to be doing the data engineering work. You're going to be doing the data analyst work. You're going to also be doing the data scientist work. So you are going to, well, in this lesson, I'm sure Daniel is going to cover all of that for you. So you're going to be doing maybe having a touch of data engineering, data analyst, or data analysis, and then data science. You're going to be doing all of this, okay? But your major focus will be on how to build a model and deploy the model.
Okay.
Yeah. Daniel, if you have input for that, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Bello, for that question. So, Joseph already said the important things, actually. If you're going into whether a data analyst or even in data analysis or as a data analyst, you still have to build your team, because just like what Joseph said, if you're not building your team, you are leaving a whole lot of work for yourself to do, and that will be overwhelming. Every day you might find yourself drinking Panadol or paracetamol or painkillers because you are spending more time on the chair extracting data. You're spending more time on the chair understanding the business problem, understanding, trying to make visuals and all that. But when you have a team of 3 people, one person extracts and cleans the data, the other person understands the business problem, while the other person then makes visuals. That's division of labor. In 1 hour, 5 hours, you guys can get the job done. So if you noticed in the group, I said something like we'll all be shared into teams for presentation. So that's the idea of this, because when you guys are shared into teams, you will then begin to understand your strengths and your weaknesses. There are some of us here that are more technical and we can't really handle a presentation, and that is fine. Why there are some of us here that can really handle the presentation so well, but they are less technical. So you can be feeding on the strength of someone else. That's the advantage of working as a team. So if you find yourself in that situation, the first thing you have to do is as a person that is building the team, you need to know if you can handle everything. If you can handle everything, then you can bring people that are not so good that you can then maybe train or something like that. But if you can't handle everything, you have to bring people where you can feed on their strengths. If you're not good as a technical person, you can bring someone that's more technical. And the job, you now have the job description as a team, because most times you can't have all the skills in the job description. It's kind of not possible most of the time. So you won't say you won't apply. They are possibly looking for um, some particular skills more than the others. So if you have more SQL or Python skills, they might overlook ETL, all these ETL pipelines and all that. They might overlook it. And they might say, okay, since you can do this, build a team and look for someone that can handle pipelines for you while you focus on the SQL and Python and all those stuffs. So that's how working as a team in data analysis or data science or data analytics environment works. I hope I was able to answer that in any way.
Yeah, before the solar goes on, right? I just have a little bit of that.
Okay.
So in our internship, we worked on a project that was supposed to take us 10 weeks, but we were able to do it within 4 weeks. Because we're a team of about 13 people. So myself, I was good in Python, and currently we also have to learn PySpark, Apache PySpark for big data. And then during our training, we learned a lot about AWS cloud computing, but during the project itself, we had to make use of Microsoft Azure cloud computing. So now, what happened is that our team lead does not know how to use Python at all. She's really bad at it, but she's really good at deciphering the problem that we need to solve. So she comes with, okay, everybody, this is what we have to do. Joseph, do this, you do that, and we're able to do this within the last 4 weeks of the time allotted to us. And guess what? We even came out among the top 2 performers in the project. So it is good that you have a team, except you want to be a full stack, a unicorn, actually, which is quite possible for now, at least, because you need at least 10 to 50 years of experience to be able to come to that stage of a unicorn. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Secondly, briefly, for example, if I start from data analytics, what actually is the hierarchy with AI, data engineer, data scientist? I also learned that there's something they call deep learning.
Should I take that?
Okay, you can just brush through it because of time and all that. So
there are different aspects to this, and there is no particular hierarchy. Okay, it just depends on where you already have gotten a good background in. If you're a graduate in computer science, you don't need any of these hierarchies to follow. But for people like us who are coming from business background, it would be good that you have a business analysis understanding, and then you learn to it. And then you now choose based on your passion and your strength. You not choose an area to focus on. So for me, I'm focusing on machine learning, deep learning.
Thank you so much.
All right, so let's take the last question. Bimi, you can go ahead. Let's take Bimi as the last question.
All right, thank you. My question is about APIs. We'll be touching anything like API or data scraping. So recently I tried to apply for some jobs just to get a feel of what exactly would they have for a beginner or an intermediate level data scientist or data analyst. So I saw that some of the requirements, some of what they asked were like APIs, I didn't even know what that means, and then data scraping or scraping. So I'm just asking that is it part of data science or data analytics or machine learning, or is something related, like totally off?
They are absolutely related. In fact, some API work, you be scraping data, doing all of the wrangling. That's what data engineers are for. But you also have to learn how to do this by yourself. It will be very, very helpful for that. Yes.
All right, thank you.
Right. So, Joseph, thank you so much for touching a lot of places where I did not even touch. I guess I slept on those areas. And so I've worked with Joseph for a while. Like we've worked on a lot of projects and projects and projects together. So if you think I'm good, Joseph is just as good. So we've worked together on projects and we've relied on our strengths, you know, because I got to realize that I'm more technical. I can you give me a project and I'm to use Python. I probably might not know the code, but once I know what I need to do, give me some few minutes, the code will be out. Maybe I bring it out of my mouth or something, but the code is going to come out. And I've worked with Joseph to the extent that he is a can-do person. The answer, he might not have it, but he always gets his answers down for you when it's needed. You know, it's not about the resources. It's not about how good you are. It's about how well you can use your resources at that particular time. And working with Joseph has been really awesome. So it's really data science, data analysis is really awesome. It's very interesting because you are going into something you don't know, and this something you don't know is going to take you to a place where it will be carrying you where you don't know, because data science is all about predicting the future, and most of us here don't really know what the future is like. But just like what Joseph said, you can turn your machine or your laptop into a prophet. Okay, so you have an idea of what is going to prophesy for you, but you don't really know the outcome. So okay, I'm going to go straight into the task for today. Okay, we would do anything like algorithms or project building. Yes, definitely we are doing a project now. Then algorithms, when I sent out the form yesterday, I saw that some people were writing data science, some people were writing data analysis. Okay, data science or data analysis, you will have to start with data analysis, right? So for those that are aiming towards data science, I would say that I think that's where I come in, because I've gotten a touch of data analysis, okay, but data science is like something else. It's a whole lot. It's in they always bust my brain. Sorry, I have to speak pidgin. That's the way I can express myself right now.
That's right.
The thing they always bust my head every day, because I have to work on something and I'll be tempted to build an application just to see how my solution is working. And you know, it's fun. It's fun. So, okay, someone asking if Mac or Windows is the best for data analysis. Me, I prefer Windows because Mac is better, Mac is faster, sure, but I prefer Windows because it's easy for me. You know, I did not really go to school finish very well. So I want to stick with my Windows and let me know how to operate what I can operate. CD, you have a question. We're about going into the main thing for the day. Okay, let me just take your question. Go ahead. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, CD.
I'm just trying to add to the Mac conversation and tell them that I use a Mac and it's been a headache, especially when you have to download stuff like Power BI that doesn't work on Macs. They don't make it available for MacBooks, so you have to install a virtual. I use Parallels Desktop to install. Power BI, you have to pay for it. So if you have the opportunity to choose one, I would say go with Windows just to make your life easier.
Oh, thank you, TD. Thank you, TD. So, okay. Bolaji, I'm sorry, we won't be taking questions for now, just for now. Okay, but I'm going to put down.
This whole Windows thing because I've used both and I have experience like coding with both, and I always tell people, I'm sorry, but I always tell people that slash slash these kind of things that can be very frustrating. But if you want to get something,
Okay, thank you, Bolaji. Thank you, Bolaji. Mark frustrates me too, but okay.
Before you go, I just want to say this before I leave. I'm currently working on a project I need to submit before evening. So I like to participate in this project for you. So as soon as you guys are done, you hit me up to know where I can come in.
All right. Sure, of course I will. Of course I will. All right, thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Joseph. Okay, everyone. All right, so let's go down to business. So I'm going to share my screen, and for those of us that were confused on how to download the dataset, I've shared the link to the dataset. I'm going to do that again. So I would suggest you just pay attention because this is like the basic place. This is not where we want to spend our whole day. So that's the link to the project, the data set. Then I'll share my screen now. Okay. So please confirm if you can see my screen. There's some very ugly lines of graph, if you can see. All right, so this is what you should be seeing when you open that link. This is the first thing you should be seeing. So the next step I talked about was going to this long line, this timeline stuff, the blue line there, go to the edge and try to drag it to the end. Let your mouse just try and go to the end. So the date on the graph here should be showing you February 4th, 2020, or whatever date is showing you. If it's before February 4th, maybe January, whatever, it's fine. Okay, but I've not refreshed this in a long time. So, and the last date should be December 5th, that's yesterday. Okay, then once it's showing that, you just want to come to this download pane here. Click on download, and you wait for it to load. So we just click a little bit. And let's focus on that.
Sorry, Daniel.
Okay.
Yes, I joined the class.
Okay.
I have also SQL knowledge. I don't know SQL like our systems.
Okay.
So I think it was as in this data set and this screenshot showing I
Okay.
am not connected.
Okay, this data set, if you look at the chart, I sent a link. I don't know if you've seen that link.
Yeah, open the link coronavirus COVID-19.
Exactly. Yeah. So what you should do is it should be showing you something like this. Can you see this there?
So I'm just seeing the website and Thank you.
So come to this end and drag it. Let this date here on the graph be showing, the first date on the graph should be showing either February 4th or any date before February 4th. Then you click on this download pane. So that should show 3 download options. So we are not looking to download images or vector images, whatever. We're looking to download the CSV file. Okay, because this CSV file, the last option, data, is full data CSV. So once you click on it, I think in 10 seconds or 5 seconds, depending on your internet connection, it should be downloading as soon as possible. So I hope that's that, and I hope everybody were able to get what I just did there. But I want to stop sharing the screen and move over to the Excel file.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so if you've downloaded the file, you can go ahead to open it. So we can go into data preparation and data cleaning using Excel. Go ahead. Okay, I think I'll send it again. I just sent it to the group again, so you should see that there. All right. So, for those that are using Windows, it might just take some time to open because the Excel file is 64 MB. So, unlike normal Excel files you've seen, okay, good. So, what I'm trying to do here now, as we can see, I showed this data set yesterday. We have a lot of columns, like a lot. Look at them, very annoying columns. And they could get you confused. So what we're trying to do here is make these data sets as little as possible, something we can work with. So we know that when it comes to COVID-19, we are going to be dealing with infection and deaths and vaccination, right? So we want to bring, and we know that there should be a relationship between those infected and those that will die, which means that if you are dying of COVID-19, you must have been infected. And if you are infected by COVID-19, there's a possibility that you might die. So we want to bring those two information into one table. Then for those that are infected, they might necessarily not receive a vaccination. Some of them have strong immune system, or some of them just want to die. So we want to separate the vaccination information and the infection and death information into 2 different tables. So the first thing we want to do is make our columns as wide as possible so we can see all the information. As you can see, this is hashtag, or whatever this is. It's not giving us enough information we need. So for us to do that, there's this arrow at the top here. You will just click on it once. That will select everything. Then you can come to the edge of this column A and double click. So that's cross sign will be showing. Just double click. You should arrange, I think that should arrange everything. Yeah. So that should arrange everything. So everything is now showing. You can see the date, you can see the location, you can see the country, continent, and all that. So this location, we want to change it to country. We don't want to leave it as location because you just so that anybody that is working on it, location could be streets, location could be continent, location could be Mr. Biggs or wherever, ShopRite. But we want to change it to country so that anybody that sees this data set knows that that column is for countries. So the first thing we do is change it to country. Then if we go to the last end of this stuff, we can see that somewhere around here, Okay, somewhere around here, around AA, this column AA, we can see that that is where COVID-19, okay, I'm trying to look, okay. Now that is where, somewhere around AI, we can see that that is where vaccination started. Total vaccinations, that is where vaccination started, right? So for you to be tested, that means you're trying to check if you're infected. Okay, so we want to leave tests and deaths into one table called COVID deaths. Then we want to leave vaccinations inside a different table called COVID vaccinations. So we know that from what we can see here, vaccination started at the column AI, right? So knowing that we're going to be dealing with, please, if you have any question, just you can raise your hand. I can take a break and answer the question. So the first thing we want to do is we want to look at if we have anything like population here. Okay, you can see population. So we want to take because why I'm doing it this way is that if you should leave population in vaccination, in the vaccination table, we have to keep doing SQL joins all the time just to look at something by population. And what I want us to do, I want us to start from the easy SQL queries before we go to the advanced SQL queries. Okay, so the idea is to mark this column called population, and we want to cut the cell. As we want to cut it out and bring it to this place. So what we want to do is insert cut cells. Okay, so we'll see that population will be added here, just immediately after the date column. So we want it to be part of the COVID death table and not the COVID vaccination table, because the COVID death table gives us more information. It has people that are infected, it has people that are dead, new cases. So there's a lot of information in the COVID death table compared to the COVID vaccination table. So instead of leaving it in the COVID vaccination table, we should bring it to the COVID death table, then do only few joins, only joins that are necessary to the COVID vaccination table whenever we want to use population for the COVID vaccination table. But since we'll be using COVID death table all the time, we want to avoid those unnecessary joins. We want to just leave it in the COVID death table. So that's the first thing we are doing here, bringing the population to this section just immediately after dates. So I'm going to stop
Sorry,
here.
excuse me, Daniel. Please, how did you move the population?
Okay, I'm going to undo. Hold on. Okay. So if you look at this population, you have population here. So you just right click and you see something like cuts. Then you click on cuts. Then you should drag your mouse, scroll down to dates and total cases. So click on total cases. Then right click again. You see something like insert cut cells. This is telling you that that population cell, the population column that you cut out of that other side, insert it between dates and total cases. So we just click on insert cut cells, and that should put population in between them. So that's how it's
All
done.
right, thank you.
All right. Before I go on, does anybody have any question? Because
Yes, I do.
all right, go ahead. Then.
I'm trying to figure out what exactly we're doing with this data. Like, so what are we? What's our aim? Like, I can't figure out what we're doing. So
Okay.
all that.
Okay. I think I mentioned that yesterday. So what we want to do here is that COVID-19 is nobody's friend, right? So the first thing we want to do is we are in a country called Nigeria, or whatever country it is we are in now. We're in a country called Nigeria or the US or Sweden, and you've been hearing that COVID-19 people are getting infected and all that. So you have the data of this COVID-19 issue, you have the data with you. As a data analyst, you don't want to keep listening to the news. You already have the data with you. So you want to find out in your country the total amount of people that have been infected. And you want to see how this infection has grown over time. When the infection started, when people started dying, the time frame between this infection and the deaths, then you want to find out, okay, is the number of people infected, is it increasing or is it decreasing? In the space of 2 years, has it increased or decreased? If it has kept on going on an uptrend and that's increasing, that means there's a problem with how the control and disease center, how they are handling. Okay. There's a problem with how the control and disease center are handling this issue of COVID-19. So that means there should be a problem with probably this keeping distance, washing of hands and all that. So if we can see that it's going on an uptrend, we have to quickly advise the government that, see, this infection rate is not slowing down, which means that we need to take a look at key areas like movie centers, like churches. We need to look at key areas like schools, go into them, check if they're um, adhering to washing of hands, placing of basins and soaps at the entrance or at their gates, putting of face masks and all that. Because if all those stuffs are not in place, the infection rate keeps going higher and higher, and people will keep on dying. So, and you can also tell the government that there's a linear relationship between the infection rate and the death rate, which means that the higher the infection rate, the higher the death rate. When people are infected and there's not enough amount of vaccination going around the country, it only means that people are going to keep dying over time. So, and there are some countries that where the infection rate has taken a downtrend, which means that you can advise these countries to stop storing vaccinations that people are not using anymore because the infection rate has gone down. They are adhering to the distance policy. They're wearing face masks. So the more they keep these vaccinations in their countries when people are not using them, it makes no sense. So they can distribute to other developing countries or underdeveloped countries to help them reduce infection rates. So that is one side of the project. Right. So okay, so
Sorry, Daniel, I raised my hand. I was saying something.
oh sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. The SQL lights that you said,
Okay.
I wanted to download it, but I already have PostgreSQL installed in my system. Can I use that?
Okay. If you find it easy to run SQL
I
queries,
don't know which one is easy. That's the one I'm not trying another one. So the one you have like this, I really know. But you can drop the link on the chat. Maybe I'll try that. When I send it on my WhatsApp, so something that is down below, it's just show the text.
okay. Okay, okay. But were you able to download it from WhatsApp? That's the question now.
I don't have WhatsApp on my system. It's on my phone, so that's why I moved it to my phone. So you can drop it on this chat, then we'll be able to download it directly to our system. What are we downloading? SQLite. Oh, I don't have that as well. So we sent it to the WhatsApp, so the WhatsApp is already system. You can download. I just joined yesterday. So.
Okay, I'm going to share a link. I'm going to share a link. So anybody that has the link can download the DB browser. It's in a zip file.
Are you sending it to WhatsApp?
No, I'm sending it on the Google Meet chat now. Okay, so it's in a Google Drive. You just need to download it. So I think that should work fine. All right. So once you've downloaded it, please just let me know.
Daniel, please, my SQL workbench, will it not work for what you're about to do now too?
If you have my SQL workbench, that's fine. You don't have to download this.
Okay, thank you.
The problem is just that sometimes importing a CSV file or Excel file using my SQL workbench can be troublesome depending on how it is. And for your email addresses, I can't actually leave my screen now to share them to your email address, but that link, the Google Drive link I just shared to you guys, it's good enough. You can use the link to download. Okay. For Silver SQL, I really don't know about Post SQL. I can't really say I'm not really a fan of that. Okay. I'm going to also share the link for the COVID-19 dataset. I think that should the COVID-19 dataset, you can go ahead and download it the way I showed you guys from the link just a few minutes ago. I think that should be better.
Sorry, please, after downloading the SQLites, do we unzip or how do we download the exact?
Okay, you should unzip. You should unzip it. Then once you've unzipped it, just wait for me. I'm going to come and show you how to go about it. You don't have to install anything.
Thank you.
All right. So okay, so I stopped at population, right? So after we've done this at population, I will just advise, let's just focus on this particular one for now. Okay. So after we've done population, the next thing we want to do is now separate these two tables from each other. So we want to go to AI. Okay, we want to go to AI. Then, now this is where the trick is. I'm going to show you a simple trick to copy everything in your Excel file to the right. So we're going to use Control Shift right bar. That should copy everything down to the right. I don't know if anybody got that.
Okay, can you say that again?
Okay. So what we are trying to do is we're trying to separate these two tables together, right? We want to separate the COVID deaths and COVID vaccination. So total vaccination, that's where we are going to start from. So everything from total vaccination down to the right, which means everything from AJ, AK, AL, AM, AN, and AO down to the right, down to the end, we don't need it for this particular table. Okay, we want to get only COVID deaths, the table for COVID deaths. So you're going to click on Control key, hold Control key, hold Shift key, and hold your right direction just on your keyboard. Hold Control key, hold Shift key, then hold, just tap right direction. It should copy everything to the last end of the table. Hope that makes sense.
Right direction.
Control Shift, then right direction on your keyboard. Was anybody able to do that?
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
Okay, good. So do we have any other person that was able to do that?
Yes, I've done it.
Okay. So control. Sorry?
Are we moving from that table to the right?
Yeah, from AJ down to the right. So this control shift and right direction should copy everything from AJ, should highlight everything from AJ down to the last end of the table.
AJ or AI?
AJ. Total vaccination. From total vaccination, just your table might be different, but look for the column that has total vaccination. So it might be AJ, it might be something else, but let it be total vaccination.
So where do we move it to?
So just press Control Shift, then direction, the right direction. Should copy everything like this.
Okay.
So as you've done that, you can just click on press delete. Once you've highlighted everything there, press delete. Was that able to take that out?
Yeah, I can see only. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Okay, very good. So what I want you to do now is go to File.
Please, I'm so sorry. Please, could you repeat yourself? I think my network was not working. I lost some time there.
Okay, where did you stop, please?
Where we're supposed to copy and paste the COVID test or something.
So you should be clicking on, there's a column called total vaccination. I think that should be column AJ, depending on your data.
AJ.
It has total vaccination as the column name.
Yes, I can see that.
All right, so click on it. Just click on that AJ. There's an arrow on top of AJ. Click on that arrow. You should highlight everything there. Then click on, hold Control Shift and right direction. You should copy, you should highlight everything to the last end of the table.
Yeah, done that.
Then click on delete.
Okay.
So now what we have on this Excel file now is what we call the COVID death table. Okay, this table now currently is just for COVID deaths. So you want to go to File, you want to go to Save As.
Wait, hold on. So when I did that, when I did it, the delete, it was still showing AJ, people fully vaccinated. Is that correct? That's supposed to be?
No, there should be nothing at the end of the table anymore. There should be nothing at the end of the table. So after you've highlighted everything from AJ down to the end, you should click on delete. You should delete every single thing from that AJ to the end. Can you hear me? Control Shift, then right should highlight everything from AJ to the end of the table.
Control Shift right. Test mortality cumulative per million, is that correct?
That is correct. That is correct. That should be the last table, right?
It's supposed to be the last table. I still have things like BOBP, although there's nothing in the cells.
Perfect. There should be nothing there. It's okay.
So what's the next step?
So the next step now, I want you to click on File.
File, okay.
Just follow what I'm doing on the screen. Click on File, then go to Save As. Please, I hope everybody's following.
I'm not deleting anything. I'm not clicked on delete yet.
Please click on delete.
And I know you said something.
Click on delete. Let it remove everything. Everyone, please click on delete. It has to remove everything from AJ to the end of the table. Please, if anyone should have any question, just type it on the chat because I'm not really on the chat now. Okay, very good. Then you should click on File, please.
Okay. Then Save As.
Yeah, File, then that should be Save As. Then wherever you want to store your file, it could be in downloads or documents. You can click on documents. Then now you want to name this COVID deaths. So it could be something like this, COVID deaths. Could be COVID deaths. Then you should leave it as CSV, delimited. CSV, delimited. Good. So you just click on save. All right. So now that that is done.
Sorry, I think I actually did my the wrong way.
Okay.
From AJ to the that's unique. I can't see anymore.
Okay, then that's wrong. So you want to use Ctrl Z and undo, bring your table back to its original form. Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, just undo everything you've done so far. So now what I want you to do is looking at this table for AJ, you should see an arrow just at the top of AJ. There's a black arrow that's pointing downwards.
Yeah, but you know that we moved a table before. I think we moved total. Was it total case? We moved
No, we moved population.
population. I think I have to do that again.
Okay, so click on that population, then right click on cuts.
I'm just trying to. Okay, population. Is it what column is it on?
It depends. Just look for population towards the end.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen.
Okay.
I click on it. I cut it.
Then now go towards the start of your table. Just after dates, you should see something like total cases or so. There's a column after dates.
Yeah.
Now click on that column and right click on it, then look for insert cut cells.
Okay, I've seen it.
Click on insert cut cells. That should put population there.
Yes.
Now go and look for total vaccination, should be in column AJ.
Yes.
Now there's a black arrow on top of that AJ. Just click on it to highlight everything in total vaccination.
Yes.
Now use Control Shift, then right direction. It should highlight everything towards the end of the table. Control Shift, right? Okay. Then now I want you to click on delete. Everything is gone, right? Everything towards the right is gone.
Yes, thank you.
Now click on File, Save As, then name your file. Sorry?
I've saved it before, so I'm just resaving it.
All right.
I've saved it the first time we asked us to save it. And okay. I just realized that I deleted the wrong part.
Okay. So now what we are going to do is, if you've gotten to this stage so far, what you've done is what we call data cleaning, data preparation or data cleaning in data analysis. So it's a step you use in preparing your data for analysis. We call it data cleaning. All right, so that's just one side of it. Okay. Save it as COVID deaths. As COVID deaths. I'll just type it on the group. Okay, COVID deaths. Right. So if you've gone as
Just leave it as yes. Yes, no.
sorry.
Some features of your body might be lost if you save it as CSV comma delimited, which is what I saved it as. So if you want to keep
Yeah, click on yes. Click on yes. Just click on yes. So anytime you want to save it as a CSV file, it will always ask you that question. Okay. Anytime you want to save a file as a CSV file, it will always ask you that question because when you're talking about CSV delimited, they are always recognizing it as comma being the delimiter. So once you are on SQL and you tell them that you want to use comma as your delimiter, they might just make a mess of the table. So that's just what it's trying to tell you about it. That you might make a mess of your table if you don't remember that you're using CSV delimited. So I believe everybody are still here, right? So what I want you to do is click on Ctrl Z. So that should restore all the deleting that you've done. So Ctrl Z.
Daniel, save that CSV and renamed it. We should do Ctrl Z again.
Yes, do Ctrl Z again. So that file is existing on its own separately, but this is still the original COVID file. That's why I wanted you guys to use save as instead of save. Exactly.
Ctrl Z.
Yeah, Ctrl Z.
I might have a challenge because while you were correcting it for I tried to do it and I saw that when it down the line X and all of that as so that I will have updates.
Okay, you should try and undo, use undo and go back to the start. Ctrl Z till you can't Ctrl Z anymore.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. So try and look if your population is between dates and total cases.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So look for total vaccination. Okay, you've saved that as a file, right? You don't have any issues now.
It's still on COVID debt. We've saved it as COVID debt.
Okay. If it's still on COVID debt, you should leave it that way. All right, because you're going to do another save as, and this time around the save as will be COVID vaccination. So it will save on a different file entirely. All right. So what I want you to do now is click on that AI. Click on AI. Did you see what I just did there? The same way you clicked on AJ, click on AI. Are we good to go? No, don't Control Shift. Don't Control Shift. Just click on AI. Then once you've clicked on AI, I want you to come to total cases.
Total cases. Are we doing it all together?
Yes. So click on AI. Then
AI, yeah.
Daniel, is this what you're saying? Is it for just BP or for everybody?
for everybody, please.
For everybody.
Okay.
So once you click on AI, this is what I want you to do.
So we're dragging it. You have to drag it. To what column? Total process.
Now, for you to drag it, I want you to know how you're going to drag it. You don't just drag it, okay? You're going to use Control Shift. Hold Control and Shift. Can you hear me?
Do we have to click on E first?
Click on AI the same way you clicked on AJ.
Okay.
Yeah. Then once you clicked on AI, I want you to hold Control and Shift together. Have we all done that?
Yes. Yes.
Now, as we are holding Control and Shift together, I want you to now drag, just double click, then drag it till you get to total cases. When you get to total cases, you stop. Okay, you get to total cases, then stop.
Excel is opening several Excel.
Was anybody able to do that?
No.
Click on the same way you clicked on AJ. I want you to click on AI that same way. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hopefully the class is being recorded. So someone is asking me that the class is being recorded, but let's see how it goes. So
Sorry, I'm still on the AJ. Mine is not moving on. Yeah, same here as well.
are you on? Can you click on AI, because we are going to total, we are going to COVID vaccination table. We want to save for COVID vaccination table.
Okay. Can you do it again, please?
Okay. So at hold on.
It's not lighting. Like it's not lighting like yours. You can just click on it and drag without pressing Control Shift. That's what select it out. So you can just click on it and drag without control. Yes. Okay.
Okay. So if you can click on it and drag, that's fine. I think that works too, as long as you're getting the same result. That's cool. So then you can drag it just down to total cases. Okay. Total cases. No, that should be F. Total cases should be F. So once you've got into total cases, I want you to right click on total cases.
After dragging it.
Okay, hold on. Just give me a moment. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Okay. All right. Okay, so after you've dragged everything down to F, I want you to use Control right click.
Control right click. So please, when we drag it, does it have to highlight everything down to the bottom?
Yeah, it has to highlight everything from test unit down to column F. That's from column AI down to column F.
I meant vertically. Does it have to highlight everything down to the bottom?
Yes, it has to.
So I not highlighted downwards.
So there, when you take your mouse to column AI, there's a black arrow that shows, right?
Yes.
Click on that black arrow. Just click on it. You should highlight everything down.
After we get to F, what should we do?
So I want you to use Control right click. It should give you this option you're seeing here. Make sure that your mouse is on top of column F. Then use Control right click. Has anybody been able to do that? Control right click.
Yes.
Okay, so once you use, all right, Moses, nice one. So once you use Control right click, you will then use delete, because if you just delete it like that, you're going to see a lot of white spaces. So we want the total vaccinations to just join to the population at once. So we'll click on delete. So we can see that total vaccination is very close to population.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that is what we're looking for. And these total vaccinations, they are not empty. There are a lot of figures down there. That means vaccination did not start on the 24th of February. It started maybe during March or something, or April in Afghanistan. Please, can everyone see my screen?
How did you select this? I'm having you selecting it up to F.
Okay, what I want you to do is go to column AI, go to column AI.
Yes.
Then there's a black arrow. Once you put your mouse there, there's a black arrow. This type of black arrow you're seeing here.
Yes.
Once you click on it, you should highlight everything down. Okay, so since it has highlighted everything down, I would advise you use hold Control Shift, then click on that AI and drag to, while you're still holding Control Shift, drag it to column F.
Okay, right.
So once you've gotten to column F, hold Control key, that Control key, then right click on column F. While your arrow is showing that black stuff, you should see, it should show you an option, then click on delete. You should delete everything you've highlighted.
Mine is not showing total vaccination, it's just showing people vaccination.
Mine too, the same thing.
It's showing people vaccinated.
Yeah.
Okay, then is there population close to your total cases?
Yeah, population is A, then people vaccinated is F.
I'm seeing total cases. Total cases.
Now, between
What they've said, Daniel, they started with AJ, not AI. Yeah, so that's why. So that one got omitted.
okay, I want to, yeah, I understand you now. I want you to start with AI, not AJ. So repeat that
I
process.
started mine with AI, not AJ. I started with under AI is test unit.
No, under AI is total vaccine control.
It's underscore units.
Okay.
Okay, so mine is gone. It's just exactly as what you have on the screen.
Now I want you to look at your columns and look for total vaccination, if total vaccination is part of it.
Yes, which is AL.
AL.
Yeah.
Then that means you're good to go.
Good to go. Are we using delete or clear contents?
When you use Control and right click, you will see something like delete. Use delete.
Okay.
Yeah, so that should join everything down to population.
I'm not seeing population at mine at all.
Right.
If you're not seeing population at yours, then that means you have to repeat the process from the start again, because population should be close at column E.
Yeah.
Population should be your column E.
So Daniel, sorry, please, I have population as column A. Then the next column is people vaccinated, people fully vaccinated, total boosters, new
Okay.
vaccinations.
I want you to look at your columns and check for total vaccination. If it's a column there, you are good to go.
Total vaccination. I have total vaccination per 100.
Any other total vaccination again?
No, I've not seen any there.
Okay. What will happen is that the recording will be available. All right. So you can go back and repeat this whole process. All right. Because I want us to go into SQL. Just touch a little bit of SQL for this project.
Okay.
All right. So for those of us that have gotten it right, I want you to go to File, then Save As.
Save as.
Click on Documents. Then I want you to save this as COVID vaccination.
Doing data cleaning.
Okay. If you have saved it as COVID vaccination, leave it as a CSV file. Leave it as a CSV file. Then click on Save. So it would ask you the same question. Do you want to keep saving this as a CSV? Just click on Yes. Just click on Yes. Okay. So now we have our COVID deaths and COVID vaccination files ready for exploration. Okay, they are ready for exploration. So now for those of us that downloaded the file, the DB Lite browser, I would